Hey there, guys. Welcome back to the Flick Experience. I'm the host man, Gabriel here, and this is going to be an early review on a show that I've just recently watched, and it's been out for a couple of days now, and that is The Studio. It's a show created by Seth Rogen, Peter Hoyk, Evan Goldberg, Alex Gregory, and Frida Perez, and it also has been written by Rogen and Goldberg as well. Yeah, the same guys that wrote Superbad, Talladega Nights, and many other films. Like the same producers, they even wrote "This Is the End" and stuff, and so far they're really good at making sort of like a mature, sort of quality like show without over their dumb over exaggeration on their jokes and dick jokes all the time. That's just what I think so far. But so far, this is like a like authentic show on seeing the behind the scenes of how like the movie studio system works. It kind of reminds me of that Larry Sanders vibe from HBO, if you guys remember, where the great Gary Shandling had his own show of a talk show, and then behind the scenes he's kind of like in work mode, but he's just like, I hate the job and stuff. But so far, I really enjoyed the show. Oh, I really like how it's giving sort of a meta humor, but it's not like too overly exaggerated, which in many cases I always think that in movies or TV shows, whenever they're making fun of a business that's happening like right now or anything, sometimes it would just throw me off if it's like too meta because it's almost like, oh yeah, I bet that's true. The movie business is a lot like that, or the way they're acting and how they handle business, and it's almost like shoved in your face, not like in a political way, but it's almost like addressing where it would just turns me off. That's what I meta humor. I have a like and dislike relationship with the whole humor itself. But overall, I did enjoy it too because not only to that, but I also like its directing as well. What I really like what Goldberg and Seth Rogen was able to do was that they did this long tracking take, almost kind of like what Birdman does, or like even in maybe you could say 1917 or not, is when they take the long takes on how they make the show with the few cuts, and it's almost like you're just walking and talking with the characters as they're having the conversations on what the situation is up to. But so far, I like it. The first episode of it was called Kool-Aid, and what I really liked in the first episode, it's like Seth Rogen plays this guy I named Matt, who is the new head executive producer for Continental Studios. This is a made-up studio system, and and the great Catherine O'Hara is stepping down, and she's in the show, by the way. Hey, and so far, him as Matt, he's still trying to like work out how the studio system works and how being the new guy, I can help him out like navigate on how the movie system works and how he and his other buddies, Ike Barinholtz, Chase Zoe Wonders, and Catherine Hahn, who are his partners in marketing and advisors. So they try to help him out, even though they're sort of the dumbass friends and stuff. But they are helping out too, and they're pretty funny, by the way. Especially Catherine Hahn, who acts like a jackass as a role of the head of marketing. And in the first episode, they're talking about how they want to make a Kool-Aid film based on the IP of the drink, and now sort of like how recently they want to take something like the Barbie movie, how it's making a lot of money, or anything that's Marvel or superhero like. They want to do something like that. But on Seth Rogen's part, he wants to be authentic. He wants creative, original content, which I wish most movies would do. And he has this other idea that the great Martin Scorsese, which by the way he guest stars in the role, and even Bryan Cranston as the old executive studio officer guy, gives them the part, and they're like addressing him, saying like, no, we want the Kool-Aid film to be the drink, and it's going to make lots of money. But on Martin Scorsese's other hand, saying, well, I think I want to make something about Jonestown, and that will be the picture of the film. And throughout the whole episode, Seth Rogen and his partner are like trying to figure out like which movie to greenlight and which it's not. And which, by the way, I also want to mention Martin Scorsese and Steve Buscemi playing as the cameos in the episode one, including Charlize Theron, because Martin Scorsese, he wants his work to be authentic and realistic while based based on a true event of the Kool-Aid film. But Seth Rogen's got out of pull all the punches or roll with the punches as to saying like, I don't think we're not gonna make that film, even though I made the deal, but we're gonna have to pass on it. And you just get to see how Scorsese and Steve Buscemi have their comedic elements, and I can see Scorsese becoming a very funny actor. He's just fun. I mean, to me, greatest director of all time. But it's just funny how they're in this situation on trying to make the Kool-Aid film, and it also just worries me like really, I could just imagine the studio making an IP film of the Kool-Aid movie. Like, what's next? Next, you're gonna make the Pizza Dough Pillsbury film, or you're gonna make a Coke Oak film, about the Coca-Cola making a character, and it's just like they just have these crazy ideas on the show, on trying to come up on how they write these films, and you just look at it and think like, really, this is how they do it, and that's just the whole satire of the show, and then you get like some of the dirty business behind it, where they will buy the movie, but they'll never make it or we want it, and it's just the dialogue in general. It just seems real authentic and how they have to agree and disagree him and stuff. But I just love the way it was directed because it's again it has like this meta humor and stuff, and you get to see like who the real actors and the real producers are, and you just want to know like. Oh, I wonder how they're gonna. So episode one, I enjoyed it pretty much. That was a good pilot episode. Episode two, called "The Long One Take," like, I thought really just like knocked it out because as I thought one. I really love the long take and the way that it was shot. It was like a one long take through the entire episode with no cuts because they're in the middle of making a movie where Seth Rogen's character and his partner Sal and Matt go to interrupt up a movie set up on the Hollywood Hills, and Sarah Pauli is directing this film with her and Greta Lee. And throughout the entire episode, they're trying to get this long take because of the great cinematography and lighting. And Seth Rogen's character is just keep messing everything up, interrupting the shot, getting in front of the characters or the lines, or like interrupting things. It's just like he's really not being into the scene right now, and they keep trying to give notes to saying, do we need the long take? Do we don't need the long take? And everyone is just like it's just chaotic in how they're running the movie business. And I just really like how the situation in that episode is being played, while also even by the title of the episode, the oneer of the long take, while the entire episode of that format is the long take. Anyway, great 8 episode. I would definitely recommend you see episode 2 of it because that's when, and it's like, okay, now I see how they're making this movie, and I kind of do feel bad for Seth Rogen's part being the head studio executive because I guess it's not easy. And then finally, we go to episode 3 called The Note, where now Ron Howard makes a guest spot appearances and Anthony Mackie as well. And they're reviewing a new Ron Howard movie he's making. And somehow, towards the end of his film, towards the ending, there's this long, like overall ending sequence that has nothing to do with the film. Either they lack patience or stuff. And every one of his friends, including Seth Rogen's character Matt, is like, we need to cut it. This is too boring. And almost the entire episode should say like are pressuring Seth's character saying, give them the note, give them the note. They need notes. And it's like, no, he's got final cut privilege. Ron Howard's an asshole to me and stuff because he's nice and stuff. And it's just super funny because no one is giving him like the encouragement just to break him in the news and stuff. And then there's this whole situation where eventually it breaks down. And I liked how it's sort of called, you can just imagine it's Seth Rogen and Ron Howard talking, but it's really the character and the actual Ron Howard playing as themselves and having fun of themselves. It just gives you like a different side of it and stuff. And just the whole concept of the show overall, it just has like this authentic slash very meta humor, and not like in your face kind of a way, but it just has like the pure like dialogue of conversations, like real and interactions, not like in an emotional way, but just like this. You just want to see what these guys are like, while we as the viewers are on or like the fly on the wall, and you just like how the directing is like coordinated while going through the script. And I bet half of the dialogue is just mostly improv. So overall, guys, I really enjoy the show of the studio. Again, this is an early review. I hope to see more episodes coming out soon. Maybe down the future, I can maybe do a full review of the full season. And yeah, so far, it's good. Good. I don't have a rating for the system yet, but I will recommend you go watch the show. I recommend you seeing episode 2, the long one take, because then that's when and you get to see how this directing style is able to go. And I wish Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg do more of these kind of things. Not like the silly comedic humor, but like sort of like a kind of bit of a smart comedy with a little bit of dumb, immature humor. But I also wanted to, I could see him do some serious roles, but in a mildly mannered like comedic like slash serious drama like. But overall, it's a good show. So there you go. So there you guys have it. That would be it for. So this would be a quick episode for TV shows. Usually I barely like do TV reviews, but I hope I'll do more or down the road and soon. And like, yeah, go watch the studio on Apple TV Plus if you guys subscribed it or not. Or even just download it. Just watch the show. Let me know what your thoughts on it, and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and also check out my other podcast links if you want to watch the first 3 seasons of my show. Oh, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. It's in all over every podcasting platform. Don't forget to put that. I'll even put the links down on the descriptions. And like, yeah, keep on following to the show. And this is the hostman, as usual, saying to you all, good night, everyone.